The Chicago Sky just made a decision that nobody saw coming, and Angel Reese might be done in the WNBA sooner than anyone expected. What started as supposed leadership turned into the most toxic locker room situation we've seen in years. And now her own teammates are finally speaking out about what really happened behind closed doors. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we're about to expose everything the mainstream media won't tell you about this shocking situation. Picture this scenario for a second. Your supposed franchise player publicly trashes veterans who left championship teams to help rebuild your organization. She questions whether teammates are even good enough to make the playoffs while she's leading the league in turnovers. Then she demands roster overhauls and trade packages like she's running the front office. That's exactly what Angel Reese did, and the fallout has been absolutely devastating for everyone involved. But that wasn't even the beginning of the chaos. The real story starts with what Reese said to the Chicago Tribune that sent shockwaves through the entire organization. She didn't just suggest improvements or talk about working harder in the offseason. She went nuclear, saying, quote, "I'm not settling for what we have this year. We need great players, not just good ones." Then she specifically called out Courtney Vanderloot's age, questioned whether Rachel Banham and Haley Van Lith could contribute to a playoff team, and basically told the world her teammates weren't championship material. Think about the audacity of that statement for a moment. Courtney Vanderloot is a two-time WNBA champion, five-time All-Star, and two-time All-WNBA first-team selection. She literally left the New York Liberty, a legitimate championship contender, to come help rebuild Chicago. And this is how she gets repaid? By a second-year player who couldn't make a layup for the first 2 months of the season. The disrespect was so blatant that even neutral observers were shocked. What happened next would change everything about how the Sky operates moving forward. The locker room completely turned on Reese, and it wasn't subtle. Ariel Atkins, who was brought in specifically to complement Reese's game after the Sky traded away their number 3 overall pick, found herself defending teammates she barely knew against attacks from someone who was supposed to be their leader. During press conferences, Atkins made it clear where she stood, emphasizing team unity and collective improvement, while Reese continued her media tour of destruction. The numbers tell an even more damaging story that Reese apparently forgot about. While she was criticizing everyone else's performance, she was shooting 27% on layups at the beginning of the season. Professional gamblers were literally making hundreds of thousands of dollars betting that she would miss her first shot in games. It happened 8 consecutive times. Yet not a single teammate went to the media to embarrass her. They supported her through the struggles, defended her to critics, and tried to help her improve. The contrast between how they treated her versus how she treated them couldn't be more stark, but the real bombshell dropped when Rachel Banham finally had enough. After weeks of listening to Reese's complaints and criticisms, Banham went on record with a statement that cut through all the noise. Quote, "I just don't really care anymore. I'm so over all of this." That wasn't just frustration talking. That was a veteran player who has seen enough drama to know when a situation is beyond repair. When someone like Banham, who typically keeps her head down and focuses on basketball, speaks out like that, you know the toxicity has reached critical mass. The timing of Reese's comments made everything worse because the Sky had literally reshaped their entire roster around her during the previous offseason. They traded Sonia Citron, the 3rd overall pick, who showed tremendous potential, to get Ariel Atkins. They brought in specific role players to complement Reese's supposed strengths. The organization went all in on building around her as their franchise cornerstone, and how did she repay that faith? By publicly declaring that everyone they brought in wasn't good enough. What most people don't realize is that a players only meeting was called specifically to address the Angel Reese situation. Sources inside the organization revealed that multiple players expressed their frustration about being named directly in her media comments. The meeting reportedly got heated, with veterans making it clear that Reese's behavior was unacceptable and damaging to team chemistry. Some players even questioned whether they wanted to continue playing alongside someone who clearly didn't respect them. The front office response was swift and decisive. Tyler Marsh, speaking on behalf of the organization, confirmed it was a top-down decision to address what they called detrimental comments. While he declined to specify exactly which statements crossed the line, the message was clear. The Sky wouldn't tolerate a player, any player, publicly undermining teammates and destroying locker room chemistry. Ownership fully supported the decision, and more importantly, so did the team. Here's where things get really interesting though. During Reese's absence with her supposed back injury, the Sky actually played better basketball. The ball moved more freely, the offense had better spacing, and most importantly, the team seemed more unified. Players were smiling on the bench, supporting each other during timeouts, and playing with a joy that had been missing when Reese was dominating the ball in the headlines. It raised an uncomfortable question that nobody wanted to ask out loud. Was Angel Reese actually holding the Chicago Sky back? The statistical evidence suggests she might have been. Despite all her rebounding numbers that she loves to promote, Reese led the team in turnovers while playing fewer games than most starters. Her shooting percentage from beyond 3 feet was abysmal. Her free throw shooting was inconsistent at best. And defensively, while she grabbed rebounds, her rotations were often late and her help defense was practically non-existent. The advanced metrics painted a picture of a player who put up counting stats but didn't actually contribute to winning basketball. Courtney Vanderloot's response to being called too old was perhaps the most powerful moment in this entire saga. Instead of lashing out or creating more drama, she simply stated, "My age is absolutely not a factor. I am coming back better than ever." That's class. That's professionalism. That's what a real leader looks like. She didn't need to tear anyone down to build herself up. She just let her work and her legacy speak for themselves. The contrast between how Vanderloot handled criticism versus how Reese handled adversity tells you everything about their character. When Reese was struggling with layups, her teammates rallied around her. When she got suspended for technical fouls, they covered for her absence. When she missed games with injuries, they picked up the slack. But when things got tough, instead of taking accountability, she pointed fingers at everyone else. What's even more shocking is that multiple sources within the organization have confirmed that trade discussions involving Reese have already begun. The Sky are reportedly exploring options to move her before her rookie contract expires, understanding that her trade value might never be higher than it is right now. Several teams have expressed interest, but they're also aware of the baggage that comes with acquiring someone who has shown such a willingness to throw teammates under the bus. The damage to Reese's reputation extends far beyond Chicago. Players around the league talk, and word has spread about what really happened in that locker room. Veterans who might have considered Chicago as a free agency destination are now thinking twice. Young players who could have been trade targets are hesitant about joining a situation that seems so unstable. Reese hasn't just hurt her current team. She's potentially damaged the franchise's ability to improve in the future. Meanwhile, players like Caitlin Clark are showing what real leadership looks like in Indiana. Clark doesn't need to tear down Aaliyah Boston or Sophie Cunningham to make herself look better. She elevates everyone around her, makes the extra pass, and takes accountability when things go wrong. The Fever's chemistry is off the charts, partly because their best player leads by example rather than by criticism. That's the difference between building a winning culture and destroying one. The financial implications for the Sky are staggering too. Season ticket holders have expressed frustration about the drama overshadowing the basketball. Merchandise sales have reportedly dropped since the controversy began. Corporate sponsors are asking uncomfortable questions about the team's direction. When your supposed face of the franchise becomes a liability rather than an asset, it affects every aspect of the business. But here's the part nobody's talking about. Reese's behavior might have actually done the Sky a favor by exposing her true character before they committed long-term money to her. Imagine if they had given her a max extension and then discovered she was willing to publicly destroy team chemistry whenever things didn't go her way. The organization dodged a massive bullet by seeing this side of her while she's still on her rookie deal. The response from Sky fans has been telling too. Social media polls show that a majority actually support the team over Reese in this situation. That's almost unheard of when it comes to star players versus organizations. Usually fans side with the player, but Reese's behavior was so egregious that even her biggest supporters are having second thoughts. The Sky Barbie persona that she worked so hard to build has crumbled in record time. What makes this even more fascinating is that Reese apparently thought she had enough leverage to make these demands. She seemed to believe that her rebounding numbers and social media following made her untouchable. But the WNBA is a results business, and when you're causing more problems than you're solving, those numbers become meaningless. The Sky showed her and every other player in the league that nobody is bigger than the team. The precedent this sets is actually incredibly important for the league's future. Young players coming into the WNBA need to understand that talent alone isn't enough. You need to be a good teammate, a professional, and someone who contributes to winning culture. The Sky's handling of this situation sends a clear message that destructive behavior won't be tolerated, regardless of how many rebounds you grab or how many followers you have on social media. Looking ahead, the Sky face a crucial decision about their future direction. Do they try to salvage the relationship with Reese and hope she learns from this experience? Or do they cut their losses and move forward without her? Based on the organizational response and the team's improved play without her, it seems like the decision might already be made. The Sky are prepared to move on, and honestly, they might be better off for it. The lesson here is simple but powerful. You can't build a championship team around someone who tears others down. You can't create a winning culture with a player who refuses to be accountable. And you definitely can't succeed when your supposed leader is more interested in making demands than making plays. Angel Reese learned that the hard way, and now she might be looking for a new team sooner than anyone expected. This situation is still developing, and there's bound to be more drama before it's resolved. What do you think the Sky should do? Should they trade Reese immediately or give her one more chance to prove she can be a team player? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive WNBA coverage that the mainstream media won't show you. The truth about what's really happening in Chicago is finally coming out, and Angel Reese might have just played herself right out of the league's future.